Hi, I'm Dr. Michele Fiala, the Oboe professor at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Thank you for joining me again this year for the 2014-2015 All-State Audition Music for Oboe in Ohio. The first etude is in E minor by Heinze, and I recommend starting out by practicing some of the important notes in this over a drone pitch. Intonation is going to be a very important thing in this one, also your lyricism and your phrasing. So you can practice intonation by coming up with a drone pitch. For instance, since we're in E minor, E would be an excellent drone pitch, and you can practice E's, which are in unison and octaves above the E, and then the fourths, which if you count from E, E, F sharp, G sharp, A is the fourth note in the E scale, or in E minor, E, F sharp, G, A, it'll come out exactly the same. The fourth note will be the same whether you're thinking major or minor. And then the fifth note of the scale, which would be the B. So E's, A's, and B's are great to practice over a drone. The drone I have here is on Frank Morelli's Intonation CD, but there are plenty of other things that you can look at. Tunable has a nice metronome and tuner app that also has a drone pitch, and you can find lots of things online. So here's how I would practice these notes over a drone. Note that I make sure one note is in tune before I go on to the next note, and I try to increase the support or the air speed using my abdominal muscles to help drive the air and pushing slightly in and upward in order to drive the air. I try to increase the support between the notes. You can go throughout the entire range of the oboe. Particularly in the support one, it's important to do the high register. Do the high E along with the drone and check your intonation on your high E. Also put the drone on D's and F's and check those notes because you have all those high notes in this etude. You will need some alternate fingerings in this. The standard high E fingering is with your thumb octave, half hole, 2, 3, and you grab your A flat and E flat keys both in your left hand and use 2 and 3 on your right hand. This is a great fingering because when you go to a D or a C sharp, it's very easy to go, but you will need to go in the fifth measure from an E to a D sharp. And on the D sharp, you will need to be using your low B key. So you will need to grab the A flat and E flat keys over here on the right-hand side so that you can get to the D sharp. This is also true in the third line when you have D sharp to E. I have recommended before, Martin Schuring I think makes an excellent fingering chart. For many years, we always had fingering charts that had numbers on them, and this really has pictures that look like your oboe, so I think it's very helpful. Again, I have no financial interest in any of these things. These are just tools that have helped me and helped my students. So practice your high register fingerings and get those really just fluid and as easy as the low register, and then really try to make big, broad phrase shapes throughout this and try to make as much dynamic contrast as possible. That will be really impressive to the committee. In the end of the first line, there is a gruppetto or turn, that little squiggle, and that means you go from, in this case, B to the note above it in the key, which is C, back to the main note, to the note below it in the key, which is A, and then back to B. And you'll hear me do that in the recording. It'll sound like this. The same thing occurs at the end of the second line, and you'll play it in the same type of pattern. Main note, upper, main, lower, and back to the main. I will now perform this etude for you. Thank you for joining me today, and please join me for part 2, in which I play the second excerpt.